The hit American historical drama television series Shogun begins with a ship carrying English navigator Blackthorne and others being shipwrecked in Japan. He is based on the real-life Englishman William Adams, who was cast away to Japan around this time. In the drama, Blackthorne serves one of the most powerful feudal lords, Yoshi Toranaga, who corresponds to the historical figure Tokugawa Ieyasu. While serving Toranaga, Blackthorne becomes embroiled in the turmoil on the eve of the Battle of Sekigahara, and the drama ends just before the start of the battle. The real-life William Adams also set sail from Rotterdam, Holland, in 1598, and about 2 years later, the ship he was on, the Rifle, was washed ashore in Kyushu, Japan. There were several Dutch and English people on board the ship. When they landed in Japan and were protected, Jesuit missionaries demanded that they be executed immediately. A similar scene occurred in the drama Shogun. Of course, the background to this was the conflict between Catholic and Protestant countries. At first, Ieyasu believed the Rifle to be a pirate ship due to reports from the Jesuit, but decided to listen to Adams and his team. Adams spoke frankly about the conflict between Protestant countries such as the Netherlands and England, and Catholic countries such as Portugal and Spain, and explained that Spain and Portugal had dangerous ambitions to expand their territories in cooperation with the missionaries. Ieyasu gradually came to believe Adams and his team, and ignored the missionaries' persistent demands for their execution. Ieyasu invited Adams to Edo, where he was based, and Adams gained Ieyasu's trust and began to serve as his advisor on diplomatic matters. In 1600, Tokugawa Ieyasu won the Battle of Sekigahara and achieved national unification, but temporarily tolerated the missionaries' work. He was also interested in trade with the European country, and it seems that he had a policy of allowing the missionaries to stay in Japan as long as they did not engage in extreme missionary activities. However, it seems that Ieyasu also gradually became aware of the danger of the spread of Christianity within the country and the increase in the number of Christians. For example, during the Siege of Osaka, in which he fought against the remaining Toyotomi forces, many Christian samurai participated on Toyotomi's side, and it is said that Jesuit and Franciscan priests were present in the castle to encourage the believers. This also strengthened Ieyasu's sense of Christ against Christianity. Thus, in 1614, an edict banning Christianity was issued nationwide, and the missionaries were expelled from the country, and churches were destroyed. At this time, I think Ieyasu was certainly aware of the aggressive nature of Christianity, which was linked to the nations behind it. In other words, the connection between the spread of Christianity and the ambition to dominate colonies. It is possible that the influence of William Adams, who served as Ieyasu's diplomatic advisor, was a factor. Ieyasu also seems to have realized that Christianity was very different from the view of nature and humanity held by the Japanese, a country of gods and Buddhas. He probably felt this difference on a visceral level, and the differentness of Christianity that Ieyasu felt is something that we modern Japanese people also feel somewhere. The Christianity preached by the Jesuit was based on a strong belief that those who do not awaken to faith are not human, and was extremely arrogant in its attempt to save non-Christian peoples who were considered to be subhuman by Christianized them. They even called the gods and Buddhas believed in by the Japanese devils. They justified slavery with the idea that even if people became slaves, they could become civilized people called Christians if they were baptized. The Japanese people live in the country of gods and Buddhas with a loose belief in the 8 million gods and Buddhas. The self-righteousness and exclusivity of the monotheistic religion of Christianity must have seemed very foreign to the people of that time, and the feeling that there is something different about a religion that strongly believes in the one and only God and tries to spread that belief is probably shared more or less by modern Japanese people. So, how did Japan come to be the country of gods and Buddhas with its loose belief in the 8 million gods and Buddhas? I think the basis for this was the Japanese climate, which was far removed from the desert climate that gave birth to monotheism. In relation to this, I would like to mention 2 unique aspects of Japanese history. One is the existence of the long Jomon period, and the other is the continuity of culture since Jomon period. I believe these 2 are important factors that have shaped the uniqueness of Japanese culture and religion. Furthermore, I believe these factors also explain why Christians in Japan still make up less than 1% of the population